My friend Curtis took this sill off, this sill assembly, to get to the fuel tank. It's a lot easier, but naturally what happens is there's supposed to be two captive nuts in there. Well, they're snapped off and somebody's put some spring nuts on, like captive nuts of a different type, which work. It's pretty self-explanatory really. There's a nut plate that goes through, a bolt plate that goes through here, which is this thing, that goes through there, like that, look. And this is adjustable in and out. And you want to get this on the edge of the seam. That's the only tricky bit. The rest of the nuts and bolts I'll show you in a minute when I get it. I'll get it on. There's little brackets on the inside here, and these are on slots to line up with your door trim and things like this. Everything's on slots because it's a Land Rover. That's it really. There's nothing much to show. So let me get it on and then I'll tell you what we're going to do. Old Curtis bent the panel a little bit, he cheated. He should have taken this bracket off here, which would have made it a lot easier to get in. I'm going to take all this sill off, this outer, and then we're going to fit the actual support. Now I just want to tell you, just before I forget, this piece here has got slots in that goes this way and slots in that go that way. I put new bolts in there, but make sure they're loose so that moves. So with the sill in place, and now is a good time to replace the seal if you need to. This one's okay. The thing you've got to watch is to get this panel, this seam, behind this seam here. Let me zoom in. This is going to be a mess. Right, so you see where it is now? It's sticking out flush here. That's where it wants to be. Both ends. You see the edge of this trim? This edge wants to be there, so it's all flush. If it's sticking out, the door won't shut properly. Right. We do the same at this end. We take the seal off. You can't really see, but you take the seal off and align it exactly the same as that end. So this raised rib goes inside and the front edge is flush with the rib here, on here, right? To fit the bolts along the edge, instead of using silly little nuts and bolts and washers, I'm going to use these, the floor screws, the Acme floor screws, okay, we're all familiar with those, and these nuts. Now once upon a time I used to cut these bits off here and use them flat, but now I don't bother, I just put them straight underneath. And it makes a nice finish. You see how those are nice and flush, they're not sticking up like old nuts and bolts, and they're really easy to get in and out. So look, pop it through. You don't need a washer underneath, you don't need a spring washer, because this is the spring washer. Now, job done. Next, finish off the bolts and put the sill on. So once the sill's on, just use nuts and bolts to fasten it on. This should be the size. They're a bit too long, but that's all I had, unfortunately. I'm running out of all sorts of stuff. But again, what we're going to do is spray some wax on them to protect them. Like I said, they are a bit long. Yeah, you can see how the nuts come through the floor here. That's okay. Just have a look at the front, because this is what I wanted to show you. Don't forget the one on this sill here. Sometimes this is all rotted off, but there's a stair here for the wing, which holds the outer wing, the sill and the stair together, and that keeps that nice and rigid. Alright, not a bad Land Rover underneath actually, but these sills, complete waste of time. I don't know why they bother with them. They don't do anything, just a bit of trim really. So anyway, that's what you're aiming for, and these are fully adjustable, up and down, in and out. When you're happy with the outside, just tighten it all up, right? And so that's all there is to it. Right, we'll see you in the next video, hopefully standing up.